Yo, 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 it's off the ropes. Good morning, everybody. YouTube, Chicano. Hey, yep, we're
Yeah,
up
he's
early, man. Hey,
ready to
construction
roll,
workers here.
ready to roll.
Yeah, construction workers, blue collar guy. Hey, you're up early too, man. Can't complain. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm George,
I'm
my host, of
Julian.
course,
Yes,
Julian.
how we
Number one,
doing?
number one A, number one A1. There's
Yeah,
no one and number two here. So,
it's just like
everybody.
Division 1 and 2. We're both Division 1.
Yes, Division One president and president. But yeah, everybody, good morning. Welcome to today's show. It's Saturday. We got some fights today. We also got some breakdowns of fights that happened over the weekend as well as Tuesday. So we'll be getting into, Haney, Kambosos, Inoue. But we are live. Julian, how you doing, man? Good morning.
Doing well, getting ready for this nice 110-degree heat day today. It's about to happen. But hey, we got a little bit of boxing today too. But like I said, we got a lot of recap going on today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So and here in Tucson, they got a little heat wave going on. So if you're in Arizona, Phoenix, wherever you're at, hey, stay hydrated, everybody. Stay
Stay
hydrated. Eat your
inside.
oranges and your watermelon.
All my
But
boys out there doing the construction thing. Take care of
hey,
yourself.
for sure, man. But yeah, hey, so here it is, Julian. You know who we are, man. And that's
Yeah.
the Saturday we had the Kambosos and Haney unification, our undisputed. Finally, it finally happened.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Talk to me, man. What did you see in this? Were you surprised? It's definitely not what we expected. So what
Yeah,
were your thoughts?
it really wasn't. We really thought it was gonna be more of a competitive fight. It just seems Cambosos couldn't crack that code, man. Well, actually, at the beginning, when Haney found out that Cambosos was pretty much countering anything he would come with, that's when Haney started boxing the rest of the fight. Like he would really come back with a quick combination really quick, in the beginning, which I give Cambosos maybe the first 2 rounds, and that's pretty much it. After that, it was all a Devin Haney show from there. Like I said, he has the best jab in the game, currently. Oh, well, just in my eyes, I think he has the best jab in the game. Um, we'll see what the rematch brings us, but yeah, and I'm just happy he brought it home. He brought the Undisputed back to the States, where a lot of us say it does belong. Yeah, but, I just want to see him against Lomachenko, too, if after this rematch, because I do think the fight ends up being the same, like if Cambosos doesn't make the adjustment that he needs to. But like I said, Haney did what he had to do. He went in there, he boxed. Just a lot of things I do dislike about him. He does hold a lot. He does a lot of the hold and stuff. He's done that a lot, pretty much a lot of his career. But it's a part of boxing. It's a part of taking your opponent out of the game, and that's what I believe he did to Cambosos.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that's exactly what he did. That's what it seemed like to me. I know, that whole lead up to that fight from it finally being made. Well, actually, from the beginning, when Lomachenko was supposed to be the original opponent, didn't happen. Lomachenko had to take care of things at home. Insert Devin Haney, which isn't a bad number two, but originally when they were naming who the opponents who they were, I was more excited about Devin Haney. Like I'd rather Devin Haney only because he has won his last couple fights. Yeah, Lomachenko won his last fight, but he's 1-1. And I think it's fair, right? The guy next in line that's
Yeah,
been winning, and you just wanted to see too exactly where Haney stands at because with Cambosos winning against Tiafimo, you weren't really sure exactly what what kind of fighter Cambosos was, especially with the mentality of what happened with Lopez. All the outside distractions. His baby's mom leaving him, divorce. Always the beef with his dad and all and whatnot. And then we still don't even know if he's still going to be training with Canelo. We know he's got a fight planned here coming up in the next month or so. So we don't even know if he's still going to be training with Reynoso or is he going to be in that camp or not. So again, we didn't know exactly what kind of mindset Tiafimo was in that fight against Kambosos. So again, we didn't know what kind of fighter Kambosos was. It was obvious that Tiafimo fought the wrong game plan. He went out there trying to knock out Kambosos, thinking that, you know what, if I go out there, blaze this guy out of here, I'll be over and done with. I put on a great show at the
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. I can go home.
Yeah.
That did not happen that way
Real quick though, you're saying that. Do you think Kambosos did the same thing to
in this
Haney?
fight.
Yeah.
Well, let me get into that. Let me get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
that.
no, no,
Let me
I'm
get
just saying,
there.
yeah, no, I'm
No,
just
no,
saying,
you're
like,
right.
I'm just saying, is it triggering to this? Because I'm just wanting to ask that question.
Yeah,
You
no, of
know,
course. I was gonna get into that, but yeah, so we didn't know exactly what kind of fighter Kambosos was really gonna be. Now, breaking this fight down, um, I still didn't even feel like we saw everything that Kambosos could have brought to the table. Like, I think he was just searching for that one punch. I think, like you said, he was just trying to look for that counter right hand. And he, like early on, he came pretty close to landing it. Especially, when you come on to the first couple rounds, like everybody's fresh, everybody's fast. You have all your energy bars all the way at 100. Your speed is at 100. But within time, that jab that Haney was sticking him with, it threw him out of his game plan. And even though Haney may not been a power puncher, at the end of the day, like nobody wants to get punched in their face, and I think that's exactly what it was. To me, it was Kambosos didn't want to keep getting hit in the face, even though it was a jab, even if it wasn't a powerful jab. It's just obnoxious to be getting hit over and over, and when you're still making the same mistake, when you could have done some things a little bit different. I would have loved to see him faint a little bit,
yeah,
maybe
really,
cover up a little bit. He just kept trying to go for that right hand, I think, which was the wrong game plan. But
yeah,
either
the
way,
left, yeah, he should have kept the left hook game going that whole fight. I mean, it was
yeah,
landing, it was
it
landing
was
that,
landing. It was definitely
you know,
landing.
but I
I
mean, but he was getting hit though, as he was freaking get tossing that punch. So
Yeah, exactly, man, and it just shows you don't need to be a powerful puncher. It's all about timing. And then that was like my initial attributes for each guy. Like I would have thought Cambosa's timing would have made a difference. And you can see he thought it was gonna happen early on, and it didn't happen early on. Like Haney, exerted his dominance early. I mean, he showed a great jab. Yeah, he held a lot, but it's the same thing. It's part of boxing. Like people do different tactics. Mayweather's known for clinching. He'll rub the elbow on you. He'll whatever it is. It's boxing. Like if you're not getting warned about it, I guess then it's not excessive enough. But it was just weird too to see Kambosos doing these little twirls. He kept like turning his back towards him. I don't know if it was him doing that because he didn't want to get hit, or was it Haney, circling with him at the same time. But I mean, back to Haney. I was impressed. A rematch. I don't know what Cambosos could do differently or what he would do different in a rematch. I think we're going to see the same thing. I was also reading that Haney. The only way Haney would be able to fight a different opponent is if he went to 140, and that's what he was saying. He's obligated to fight a rematch against Cambosos immediately. So if he stays at 135, that rematch will happen immediately. I don't see anything different that Kambosos can do. I'm happy with Haney. Again, all the debacle leading up to it, the weigh-in, his dad finally coming in. Like I said, it touched my heart. It pulled a heartstring on me because his dad. Like again with me, my dad not being here. So it was cool to see. That was awesome, man. But Haney, I think that sky's the limit, man. I think I watched this fight again like twice. Um, and I think he'll be a trouble. I mean, he's kind of like Shakur. He's kind of got like a size on him. And remember, I know we've done breakdowns before on Haney like several episodes ago, and we were like, did Haney grow into his body, or is this like the weight he should be at? I
yeah,
really I feel like his peak will probably be maybe 140. I feel like his peak would be 140. He looked pretty big for a 135 guy.
yeah, he did. But I mean, he was fighting a smaller guy in Kambosos too. I mean, but then too, you have Loma in that division too, and he's
He's a small
he's a smaller
135.
one too. He's small 135, but he pops a punch and that son of a bitch could move.
Yeah.
And we all know that. But like I said, everybody's going off of his record base. Who he lost to. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
I've been
lost
seeing
to.
that.
But it's kind of bullcrap. Lomachenko didn't really get into the professional game till he was 25 years old. I mean, that says a lot right there. I mean, he had a big amateur career.
Yeah.
Uh, that's a fight I do want to see happen, though. That'll really tell me what Haney is all about. I think, I give him his flowers this weekend, too. He deserved them. Like I said, he brought it home. he did what he had to do. He's like I said, I mean, he does have holes in his game, and he did get hit more than I think I've ever seen him get hit in a fight.
Haney.
Yeah, you could tell by that left side.
I think it was a head. I think someone was saying, or he may have said it was a
No, it
head,
wasn't.
but
No, it wasn't. It
that wasn't
wasn't
a
a
headbutt.
headbutt. That wasn't a headbutt, bro. I was being punched all day by that left hook. And that left hook that would land at least. That wasn't a headbutt. The headbutt that landed was on this side.
Oh, okay, I guess
Yeah, no.
I didn't. It didn't really look like.
I actually saw it again. That's why I asked. That's why you just said. So you just saying that. So I saw the fight again.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it
yeah, I
was.
do believe, but he did get hit more than usual. Which is not really a Haney type thing because, like I say, he doesn't really get hit a lot in some of his fights. Like I said, it's big ups to Haney, man. He's like I said, we'll find out the rematch if it was real or if he's just gonna continue his dominance.
Yeah, I believe this is, and the crazy thing about it is this is what I was thinking the other day, like Haney is still young enough, right? He's improving. Like he hasn't even hit his
23
prime or
years
his
old.
peak. Yeah, he hasn't even hit his prime and peak yet. Now Loma, on the other hand, like even though he's still very dominant, like he's not gonna get any better or any worse. I mean, he might decline, but I don't see him getting any better. I mean, so he's already hit his optimal peak. So we don't know exactly what next level Devin Haney could do. Again, he's a big 135. I believe Haney pretty much. I think he is the real deal. The same thing with like Charlo. We saw him in a fight. We could sit here and be like, oh well, he has to fight this guy, he has to fight that guy. But look, let's not do that. Let's go off of what he just did.
He did what he had to do.
Yeah, let's do exactly. Let's just go off what he just did now. Like because now is what everybody was saying. Like okay, well, like
he was in a war. He was in a war.
And like us, we were saying, oh well, Kambosos is gonna win a split decision. Kambosos didn't even win enough rounds to even like say, hey, you know what? It was a toss up. It wasn't even a toss up. I thought Kambosos, like maybe 1-2 rounds at most for the most part. Yeah, he got hit a little bit. It's boxing, you're gonna get hit, but there was nothing really really clean.
Compared to his face, yeah. Compared to Kambosos' face look.
Yeah,
man. Like I said, just give Devin Haney the flowers, man. Like I said, I do want to see him against the higher tier, and I think that's Loma. In this division, and like I said, that'll really tell. I think the world if Devin Haney's the real deal, or if Lomachenko has peaked.
I think he's peaked already. I think he's already.
Yeah, well, I guess you could say that, but like I said, the off night, bum shoulder against Teofimo, you can't really blame that, bro.
Yeah, you can't blame. Yeah, exactly.
Even though he made the fight interesting at the end, he pretty much almost caught up to him. It was still 7-5.
Yeah.
It was still 7-5, but
what fighter doesn't fight with injuries?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, but a rotator shoulder injury is kind of a different ball game thing too.
I think I think I saw like some of the interview on the Boxing Voice, and they were asking Haney about Tank, and his hand injury. He's like, hand injury. He's like, I hurt my hand. He goes, you didn't see me, crying. And he like showed his fist. It was all swollen. So like, again, of course, there's different severities on how injured you are. You have your shoulder, your knee. You went in there with a flu, your hand, your elbow, whatever it is. Even in baseball, like I'm not saying it's a physical sport, but like you still went out there and you performed even like on a rotator, especially for me. Like I had torn my rotator cuff early, so I've always
had that injury. Flu game. It's just like a Michael Jordan flu game, bro.
Exactly,
like, come on.
Man.
Like
it's just unfortunate that happens that way, but
it just depends on your greatness, I guess you could say. Where you want to put yourself, exactly. or what you want to risk your body, in this game. And I think a lot of these fighters do risk a lot. A lot of them do not tell you what's going on with them. A lot of them have mental issues. A lot of them have these issues, like shoulder ligament issues, a lot of issues like that. Some of us don't see that.
Yeah.
But that's the boxing game. There's injuries everywhere. You can't tell me a boxer that your wrist don't hurt, one wrist or both wrists don't hurt, because sometimes you punch wrong, or sometimes you hit another guy's glove, coming in.
That's all it takes is that weird.
Yeah, it happens. It's just boxing.
Yeah, look at Spence. Nobody knows how long he's fought with that eye. Like the way
Yeah,
like the way
exactly.
they said that eye could have been there. That injury, he's always thought it was something that was happening in sparring, but literally he knew it was a torn retina or whatever it was that could have ended his career. So again, you fight these guys fight with these injuries and stuff, which is, hey man, I tip it off to him. Um, but good fight. I mean, I guess I'm looking forward to the rematch, even though there's not going to be anything different that I think will happen. I think we'll see
Hmm.
even more of a dominance from Haney. There was even moments in that fight or flashes in that fight where I'm thinking like, man, is he actually gonna like put
Gonna
down
knock him out.
Kambosos?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
because
thought too.
Kambosos
But
looked like he was dragging. I'm like, whoa.
yeah, no, I
So
thought that too. About maybe like the fifth or sixth round. But like I said, just like him and Shakur, they're growing into their power. They'll grow into it pretty. They'll
mhm,
grow into it soon. I know we put that. I know we put them down a lot only because of that.
yeah.
That whole thing. But I just feel that's it's just like a win-win thing. For them both.
Hmm.
Moving forward.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of moving forward, we'll go into this one really quick because it seems
Like
like the last 3 4 weeks, even like the last month, there has been changes like in the pound for pound, whether if it's the zones pound for pound, ESPN's pound for pound, Ring Magazine's pound for pound. But right now, this is what um I'm sorry, this is where ESPN's pound for pound list. Actually, you know what? Let's go into this real quick before we
yes,
go to the before we go to the pound for pound list because there was a fight that also happened with the fighter on this pound for pound list, Inoue and Donaire rematch.
yeah, that
Two
was
rounds. 2 rounds is all it took, Julian.
complete. That this is complete dominance. This is what you call complete dominance. Uh, you know, uh, this is a rematch in the making. 3 years. A lot of us were saying it should have happened right away. A lot of us did did say this though. You said it, I said it. Inoue has. I told you like Inoue is gonna have a new bag of tricks. I don't see. I didn't see this fight going past 7 rounds. Honestly, as much as I wanted to Donaire to make this an interesting fight, as I saw him in his last fight, as he dominated too. I just knew Inoue was gonna come back out and make a statement. He's always been in my top three. He's been still in the top three for me right now. It just to me, just what's next, man? Because everybody. Paul Butler's there, but Paul Butler's pretty much begging for this fight now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty much begging for this fight, but I just Inoue think does the same shit to him.
Hey, is that a seagull in the background of where you're at? It sounded like there was a fucking seagull back there, bro. I'm like, are you here in Arizona or in
Nah,
California?
nah, I got eagles here, bro. This is a south side of Tucson. That's the south side bird
Oh,
here.
that's a dove. My bad. That's a quail. My bad.
Yeah, fuck quail. All right, say a desert rat, pigeon.
There you go.
Nah, that's with you. Nah, but like I said, Inoue, man, he's God, man. Like when somebody wears Clado Reyes gloves, they're going to tear your head off. Like that's just a statement they're making to you that they want to rip your head off.
Yeah.
And I
To be
think
fair, they both had puncher's gloves on.
yeah, they did. Well, they had the Everlast
MX.
Pro AMX glove, yeah. So they were both in there to put a damn power show on. When Donaire landed that one big punch on Donaire, on Inoue, the one punch that he did actually land on Inoue on there in the first round, Inoue wasn't phased by it, man. It was just like after that punch right there, I was like, shit. I was like, this is gonna end bad. And then after that happened, that's when that first knockdown happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty much. It's just, Inoue is just total dominance right now. Uh, like, what did you see, Joe? Just, because I know you hyped him up. I know you said you even have him at your number one. Even 2E possibly right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, just thinking about it right now. Just from the Canelo loss. I have Usyk, Inoue, Canelo. Now. Just looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It's only fair.
No, I
You
get you.
know.
I get you. I know we've, I know I don't want, going here live now that we're hearing each other talk, like, even though it seems like we go back and forth in text messages, that's not even the case. Like you feel a certain way, I feel a certain way. And, like I said, I think if you go back to recent pound for pound lists, there have been guys on that number one and number two where they weren't undisputed. Because I mean, right, we had that list where our episode we got coming up from like 2004 to 2022. There was maybe like 8
Undisputed.
yeah undisputeds, and I could tell you if I can remember off the top, there was maybe one or two guys, and pretty much in each era where that was number one that wasn't an undisputed fighter. So yeah, that was kind of my thing where I felt like Inoue was number one, not just because of the bouts, but I just felt like how he performed. Yes, it is an older Donaire, but my thing is, what would we saying if Donaire actually made this fight competitive? What would we saying if Donaire made this fight last to the 7th round and it was close and they're both messing each other up? They both got broken eye sockets and they both are pretty much on death's door. Like, what would we be saying? I think the other side of it, people would be saying, you know what, Inoue isn't who we thought he was. He's losing to an older Donaire.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's kind of like it's not fair. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
It's
So
like
my
a
thing
TC.
is,
It's like a TC thing.
yeah,
Same thing. Same situation with TC. I mean, just because of the level of talent in his division, at the time, kind of scales back what they've done, because because Inoue has dominated the bantamweight division. I mean, he's destroyed this whole division, bro. And
yeah, it's just and then that's what
it's
happens, right? You have guys that come along
like, what
that
do you do?
are
What do you do
completely
next?
dominant. Yeah, like I mean, it's not his fault. These are the people that are in his division, and this is the level of competition that's coming out at that division for him. I mean, when you have a superstar like a LeBron James, right? It's not LeBron James's fault that when he came into the league, like he was the next big thing and he was completely dominating all these guys. It just happens. You have these generational fighters, generational players. Same thing with Inoue. Yeah, it's the smaller weights nobody really knows about, or they know because looking now, like with wins that Inoue's putting out, people are like, hey, you know what? Holy shit! The smaller division is actually pretty exciting. And then too,
It
the
is.
way
I
he's
mean,
knocking these guys out, is not typical bantamweight style. Like it's usually, they're both beating each other up, like he did in the first fight. Like they were both, people had Donaire winning, some people had it a draw, people had Inoue winning, and that's the typical fight you see at that weight class. But when you have a guy that's dominating the way Inoue is, again, it's really not his fault. That's the competition. He just
yeah.
came along. He came along at that time, and that's who he beat.
And
So
now, we're just calling. Just, I mean, of course, we want undisputed again. We want to see another one. I mean, it'll be great to see another one this year.
it,
You
it'll,
know,
it'll it'll happen. I
Paul.
think
Yeah,
it'll
Paul.
happen.
I think it is too. I really do think that's the next fight, and of course, it's going to happen in Japan again. It's not going to happen in Butler's in the UK unless Eddie Hearn makes a massive deal to Inoue to go fighting over there. But I just feel Inoue needs to go up to 122. There's Fulton in that division. I really do think he kills Fulton.
Yeah,
You
he's
know, I
small.
mean,
Yeah,
nothing to Fulton, nothing on Fulton. I just the last, the last, the fight before last, and this past fight. I mean, he did win his last fight. But I mean, he doesn't impress me. The way that a top tier fighter should be doing that right now. Like Inoue is just in a different league and a different level.
yeah,
And but that's just what I feel, man. It's just like Inoue is just in a different ball game right now of his
yeah.
own in that division.
Yeah, he definitely is, man. But I guess with the performance, like I said, it's people are like saying, "Oh, it's an old Donaire," right? Yeah, he is older, but if you look at his last 3 wins, like he beat guys that he's supposed to beat. And he beat undefeated fighters. He knocked these guys out. So, did he age in one fight? Um, or was it just, that's just how good Inoue was? And like we said, um, we coming into this fight, we knew that Inoue was gonna come out and do something a little bit different, and he kind of did a little bit. He did do something a little bit different. He didn't. It looked like he was more on his toes, and he tried to fight more from the outside, and he used obviously his power and his speed, and it looked like he went for the kill early, and that's what you saw. So there were some things that I saw like on Twitter. People were saying, "Hey, you know what?" And Donaire left his head on the line, but Donaire, I posted the video. Donaire even said it that he was trying to time him, and he saw his hands drop, and he thought he was going to go to the body. That's why he was wide open for that right hand.
Mm-hmm.
By the time he decided to throw a punch,
We already saw the left
round,
hook. The left hook met to fucking face already.
no, it was the right hand that put him
Oh
down
yeah, the right
first.
hand. Yeah, the first knockout, and the second was the left one. That's right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that was. He said after that he remembers waking up in the corner or waking up like, holy shit, what the hell just happened? Well, you just got dropped.
Knocked the fuck out.
And real quick, Chicano put in here. Again, what's up going on? He says, I think Donaire letting his wife train him finally took its toll. I don't. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, it's sometimes you
Yeah.
see a lot of these guys, different trainers. Just okay, like this fight this weekend that's happening. Berlanga, he's going with a different trainer this time. He's not. He's not going in there with Rozier. So I don't know if that's the thing, if that's the trend now that these fighters just think that they have to change their trainers. But yeah, he's been with his wife for so long, and he also has people in his team in that corner as well. So it's really hard to say what it could have been. I mean, there's many factors. Again, factor one, 40 years old. Should this rematch happened earlier? I believe so, yes. But again,
Yep.
this is what happened. Casemiro was supposed to fight Donaire, I think, twice. And it didn't happen. Something happened with Casemiro. He got injured, or the fight didn't fall through. So both guys continue to stay busy. And it wasn't like Donaire staying busy went through wars. Like his fights ended in less than 5 rounds.
And
So there
Donaire
was,
actually fought. Donaire's actually been there with the best. So I
yeah,
mean, you can't really put him down for this loss. I mean, you can't beat time in boxing. You Father Time, and some people say you can. Floyd Mayweather, this and that, but Floyd Mayweather never put himself into danger.
no,
And that's what a lot of people need to see. I mean, greatness is going after, things that like Canelo did. I mean, now I'm not just saying that because Canelo's my favorite fighters, but Canelo went up. He tried to face the best at that damn division, and of course he failed. He failed this time around. But you take out losses.
you
I
have
mean,
to.
like I said, but Mayweather created that narrative that you need the zero.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it's crazy because you see it now too.
yeah,
I
and
mean, I'm
it's
sure all you
triggering.
boxing
Yeah,
heads,
and it's
all you
triggering.
boxing heads see it. You see that that's kind of the mentality behind the whole TMT. They feel like, you know what, yeah, Tank he's a superstar, but us boxing heads, we don't care about that superstardom. We want to see
Yep.
these guys fight the best. We want to see these guys fight people in their division that are the best guys. For some reason, Rolly was ranked, in that division, but what people don't see is these promoters throw a little bit of cash towards these WBOs, IBFs, WBCs.
And they make these fights happen.
They make these fights happen. They put these guys like, hey, you know what? I got this fighter coming up, but I have this guy that's my champion. Hey, let's put him in there, because they want the in-house money, and that's what we saw, the in-house money. And yeah, and TMT could go PBC as well. So it's not like they just have TMT fighters. And we saw Cruz, Santa Cruz obviously was a PBC fighter. He wasn't a TMT fighter, but the mentality that and then you can see just the way Ellerby says it. And I might not be saying it word for word the way he says it, but the way he words it is he makes it seem like these guys have to be undefeated, and no, they don't have to be undefeated.
That's how everybody is right now. I mean, it's just the protection of the zero. Like I said, it's just the narrative right now.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, they tell yeah, we understand you want to be great, but even the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, lost what, 5 times, 6 times?
Hey man, they all
Even Mike Tyson lost what? 4
Chavez
times?
too. Yeah,
Chavez, De La Hoya.
Sugar
You
Ray
can go on.
Robinson,
Yeah,
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Duran, everybody. You name it, these dudes lost. And you can't tell me that these guys haven't been in wars. Like I said, this narrative of the zero needs to stop, man.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm thinking it's gonna take one big fighter, like one of those big fighters that has your zero to lose it, in order for people to start seeing it. But then at the same time, I mean, people are, oh well, yeah, he lost it. Now he has a 1 on that side.
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, right. You stayed undefeated in 25 fights. Big
Yeah,
deal.
no shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a good performance. I think we will see the Inoue and Butler. If he gets that win, he gets the undisputed. where would it put him on the list? Again, we were kind of mentioning it already. This pound for pound list. This is the pound for pound list that ESPN just put out maybe like 2 days ago, and this is what they have here. I
I
don't
guess I
really
could put
see too
I
much.
could put Haney at 10. I could, right now, but like I said, I mean, he he fought a guy that we kind of, like I said, he just took out of his game plan.
That's
You know.
boxing, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
you you beat the guy. You beat him in chess. That's exactly what
Exactly.
it is. So
You know.
I think as far as the list, I think
Yeah, I
yeah,
totally disagree. His
I know
whole
we
list.
went I know we went 100 I know we went like an hour back and forth on Inoue being number one, and I finally gave in to you, and I said I would put Inoue at number two,
Yeah, he's
but
mine now. He's mine now.
Usyk
I
at
mean,
number six, that to me right there
that's
is crazy.
yeah. I mean,
I feel like,
Terrence
and then
Crawford
for
fights once
one,
a
I don't
year.
even think, for one, the other thing too, looking at it, I don't even think Fury should even be in there, right? He's
Well,
one division. Usyk, yes, cruiserweight and heavyweight. So
yeah,
he's that's a pound for pound.
we gotta realize though, heavyweight's a whole different division. Not everybody could fight at that division.
Exactly. So I'm saying that's why you
Like,
don't put Fury in there,
yeah, but I mean,
especially. I mean,
some
especially
people
like
have him in there.
especially the way how boxing has been going the last couple months. Like, look at Bivol winning this fight. Um, Charlo's not even in that list. Charlo just won his fight.
Yeah,
Haney just won his fight. Shakur just won his fight. So, I mean, the guys that are in there, I think, are okay. But as far as Fury, I mean, even though I think Fury pretty much will most likely beat most of everybody in the heavyweight division, except Usyk, which I think will be, I think he will come out of retirement. I see Chicano
uh,
put in a comment
yeah.
too. He says
Nah,
plus
Fury,
Fury is quote unquote
he's
retired.
coming out.
He'll come out. He'll come out for
No,
the
he
right
isn't. He
money.
just came out yesterday. He came out.
Did he really?
Retirement. Yeah, yesterday he came out of retirement. He said he's gonna fight the winner of Joshua Usyk.
Damn, son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah. Yesterday he came out with that shit. I'm like 1,000% positive. It was all over the place.
Oh wow.
It was all over the place. Chicano, I'm gonna have to freaking send you that. I'm gonna have to send you that little link real quick because it's from Boxing UK for sure, and those dudes are pretty legit source.
Yeah.
And
Hey, if the UK guys say, hey, we all believed it. We already knew that Fury wasn't gonna stay retired. I mean, especially
I don't
he's like a
know.
self-centered dude. Like he loves his attention, and that's what he's doing. He's giving his attention even while he's retired.
He's getting faded too, kicking taxi cabs.
Yeah, whatever he's doing with his dad in and out of bars and
Oh
whatever it
man,
is. But
you gotta
back to
love
the
the
list,
guy.
man. Yeah,
You
for
gotta love
sure.
the guy.
Back to this list, man.
Yeah, like I said,
I
Terrence
think
Crawford shouldn't even be
okay.
touching one.
All right, go ahead. Give me
Like
give
he
me
really
your
should.
now that we enter Devin Haney winning, going undisputed, getting all the belts plus his email belt, right?
Yeah,
So he could trash that belt if he wants to or keep it.
yeah,
But it's funny because he's throwing it in people's faces because people were throwing it in his faces that he's the
yeah,
email champ, a paper champ. He did what you wanted from him. So
yeah. I mean, he
Julian,
had to
okay,
do.
okay,
It's beautiful, man.
rearranging this, what is it? What is your list right here?
Okay, so one, I mean, Terrence Crawford's definitely not one. Always, Usyk's gonna be number one right now. Usyk's. Uh, in terms of achievements of undisputed, this dude is freaking. This dude's done way more. So Usyk, of course, is my number one right now. I have Inoue, my number two right now. Canelo Alvarez, my three. I do have, man. It's kind of been hard for me, man, because this one's been going back and forth for me. Okay, so I mean, it's just been between TC and Spence, at four. But I'd say right now I'm gonna put Spence at four only because he has the strap on him. The more straps. I mean, a lot of people say I don't mean nothing, but hey, I think he's been more active fighter. I do put Mal. I could put Mal there at five because he did undisputed as well. He did what he had to do to little Charlo. Uh, TC would be my six. Um, but Lomachenko's. I think Lomachenko would stay at my seven only because I mean he went to war. He was supposed to take this fight. He'll stay there for now, I guess, until he fights again. Shakur is going to be my eight. Bivol is going to be my nine right now, and then I'm going to have Haney as my 10.
Okay,
And
that's pretty
but
good.
yeah. I mean, 'cause like I said, I mean, right now until like I said, I just think Haney once he does what he has to do against against Kambosos again. I think he's gonna move. I think he will move up that scale. I mean, I may even move Loma down to 10. At that time. Unless he fights, because I know he's gonna fight in November or October, and I know he wants the winner of that fight. So I do think that fight will happen. Bob Arum will make that fight happen. Uh, Devin Haney is on a 3-fight deal with Top Rank, so it's
At
on.
least one of those three will be a Loma, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it only makes sense. It only makes sense to me. But like I said, I mean that's my top 10 right now, man. How do you got it right now?
I'm with you too, man. It's again over the last couple months, so
It's
many.
hard, man. This just sucks.
It
It
sucks
sucks,
because
bro.
everybody has an accomplishment, man. Like everybody's doing really well, and it sucks. Again, these pound for pound lists, don't come hunting me and Julian down. Julian now has
Yeah.
a Twitter. Finally, thank you, Julian, for being part of the generation. But from Twitter, everywhere people bash each other's lists. There's no wrong or right unless you're putting people on there that should not be on that list. So it doesn't matter.
I seen plenty of those.
Oh, we see them. We see you guys out there.
They're fun. Some of them are pretty funny too, man. It's like, damn, man. Like like there's other fighters, other than race here. Like, man, bro. Like,
Julian, please come on. We don't want.
like it's kind of funny though, dude. Like you see things like some of these guys have all Mexican ones, or some of these guys have all black ones, or some of these guys have like just like, dude, like just,
All
like
PBC
different
guys.
fights. Yeah, bro. Like these are like this is a world, man. This is where we're the world here. I mean, look at mine. Look at my top 10 right now. It has dudes from like 4 dudes from like 3 to 5 different countries.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
boxing international. So my list again, man. Please, guys, don't come hunting me and Julian down. We're not
it's
gonna debate
just
lists. We're not gonna debate anything.
thoughts. These are just
Yeah,
thoughts, on
it's
our part.
no
Just
wrong or right here.
of what we see. Just
No wrong or right. But again, so here you go. Usyk continues to stay at number one, and I feel like he's number one. And we said it, Julian, the other day, texting each other on his road. We feel like this year, of 2020 to 2022, he's fought in the better guys to become undisputed from cruiserweight to heavyweight. So that to me is really no debate.
and that's
So
hard. That's
Usyk is
hard to
one.
do.
That is hard to do.
That's hard to do in a division that's kind of stacked right now.
It is stacked,
In
and what?
all those 3 divisions.
Yeah, and then that cruiserweight and heavyweight, like it's there. Anything can happen. The bigger dudes, Atlanta takes one shot, so it shows the skill, not just going in there and just bruising it out and chucking punches. Like Usyk is showing overall skill,
Yeah,
and that's what I feel.
He's a winner.
Yeah, and for me, that's what I feel. What comes down to when you're on this pound for pound list, not just your accolades or your accomplishments, but like your performances too. So I feel like performances, to me, my list is why you're on this list where you're at between 1 and 10. So Usyk is one. You convinced me to put Inoue at number 2, but you felt like he was in the top 3. And yes, Canelo decided to go to 175 to fight, which is the reason why you would put somebody in a pound for pound list, right? You're going from where he started, 147, 154, 168, 175. So he attempted to try to, put another feather in his cap at 175. He failed. But at the same time, he's got the bouts at 168. So you cannot and you should not take him out of at least your top 5 if people have him in there. So Canelo 3. Number 4, it's really a toss-up between Earl Spence and Crawford for me. But last time for me, last list, I put Spence ahead of Crawford, and I think you just did that right now too. And again, accomplishments, the last couple of fighters, what they've done, their performances. That's why Spence is at 4, Crawford 5.
I just say activity. Like I just say activity-wise. I mean, like I said, Charlo's fighting twice a year. Spence is fighting twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, TC, that's the reason I had him at 6, man. I mean, that's the only reason I put him there, because it's just until that fight gets made, man, or all this bullshit stops already.
See, dude, man, and that's gonna be the hard part about it. When this fight gets made.
I mean, 55-45. A 55-45 split feels fair.
Okay, but look, here's the thing: when this fight gets made, the winner, like, where do you put these guys at? Do you put them? Do you just keep like frog jumping them, like people on the list? You know what I mean? Like the winner, say the winner, right? Do they go at 1? Do they go at 2? Do they go to 3? Because look at Canelo's fighting Triple G at 160 at 168, right? That's his next
Mm-hmm.
fight. Like, does that jump him or does that lower him or does that keep him at number 3? Right,
Yeah, I
depending on
mean,
the
it's
fight.
just,
Even though it's a
but
trilogy,
yeah, but he's defending his belts. He has to defend
he's
those belts.
defending his belts. I guess
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah, he
168. It
has
is
to.
Triple G's first fight at
Yeah,
168. So I guess he's
yeah.
defending belts.
It's a defense. I mean, that's pretty much what this fight is, a defense and a promise. And a
Okay,
promise fight. I mean,
sure.
you can't really
So
you can't really take nothing away from that.
all right, because
So
it's
it's
I don't know. For me, this if this Crawford and Spence gets made, this is a higher fight to me. I
I mean,
think
hell
above
yeah, it is.
that one for sure.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
this is the
winner,
fight
of
this is the
course,
fight of the year.
yeah, for sure. So that winner would probably switch 3 to 4 with Canelo until, I mean, I don't know what else Canelo does, and it's just passing of the torch. It seems like what's going on, right? Like, yeah, Canelo's still pretty young when you look at the age number, but he's been doing this since he was like 17.
Yep.
So we don't know how much more time Canelo has. We don't know how many more fights Canelo has left, or who is there for Canelo to fight besides the big names that everybody's calling for like, the Benavides, the Charlo,
Yeah, but
whoever
those
the
are
hell's out there. Those are pretty much the
but
last guys that are left.
yeah, but those are the people that we know that he'll fucking run through.
Just like the other guys he got the belts from, right? We knew he was going to run through those guys too. So
But I mean, that's not his fault. I mean, people want to see
yeah,
these fights, and he'll make them happen. But like I
he's
said,
going
I
to make them
mean,
happen.
but like I said, until then, I mean, but yeah, I mean, you are right. I mean, when this fight does happen, that will leapfrog. That will leapfrog these guys ahead of him.
Yeah.
For the time being.
For the time being, yeah, that's the other
Yeah,
thing. Because
yeah,
dude,
for the
just think
time
about it.
being,
Just look
because I
at
mean,
these
every week it changes. I mean, for the
every
last,
week.
like I said, last 5 weeks, this damn pound for pound list has changed
Just look
since
at next
Canelo
weekend's
lost.
fight. Just look at
Since Canelo lost,
yeah, just look at
that's
next
when it
weekend's
happened.
fight. It better be even Smith.
Yeah, I mean, son of a bitch.
How don't you
Yeah.
have those guys at least on the list, right? I mean, I
Well,
know.
B2B was in my top 10. Remember?
Oh, dude, you know what? I meant to put. So I remember. I think like at the beginning of the year, or maybe like February or March, when we were talking about trying to do our pound for pound list. I actually have both our lists. Like it's done, like archived and some of my notes, and I meant to put it out today, but damn it, you know what? I don't have time to do it today, but next time, next fight, like for sure, like I will put what we had back in February, March.
Yeah.
But both of our 10 for 10 were our 10, our pound for pound list. But real quick, back to the list. I know we get sidetracked with these
To see how
bars.
much it's changed.
Oh, bro, I could just tell you right now, just thinking, yeah, it's changed. It's changed.
Oh no, it's changed. Like I said, I mean, it's just
It's
been
changed.
too much going on in boxing the last year and a half, 2
And it's
years.
beautiful, bro. That's what I love about it right now. I'm glad we're getting these fights that we want. And like, yeah, the Crawford and Spence is kind of I think the biggest one right now so far. And we're not
Yeah.
quite getting it quite yet. Whatever it is, if it's supposedly now they're saying Spence didn't get the contract. Then they're saying, oh, he got the phone call. And then this dude is saying, oh, my source says that Spence signed the fight immediately. So I don't believe what your homie says until like it's actually put out there from their own mouth. But
like you need to hear it from them, and just like Canelo says too. If it's not coming from me, then it's not true.
again, I'm sorry. Again, sidebar. These conversations happens, but back to my list. So I would put Spence 4, TC 5. Now from 6 to 10, I feel is a little tricky because you have the new faces in there. You have the Charlo, the Bivol, Shakur, and Haney, and that right there would pretty much fill in those last rest of the spots for me. And it's difficult because yes, Lomachenko went to war. Lomachenko, is a top tier talent, but off the last 3 fights, he's 2-1, right? So, and I'm gonna go on the record and say that I'm not taking him off the list because I still feel he deserves to be on that list. But now I just feel like he's kind of going back. He's kind of going backwards a little bit. So 6.
Yeah, I'm just saying activity wise, he's freaking. It's right now until he fights again. That's the reason I'm just saying. I just keep him at 7.
Yeah, and it's not a bad number. Like I've had him at 7.
I just keep him there because, like I said, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know who he's gonna fight next, so we do know he is fighting.
Yeah, because we know that it's not going to be Haney next because
Oh
Haney's
hell no,
obviously in
hell no.
Kambosos. That fight probably don't happen until probably maybe the beginning of next year or at the end of this year. I feel because I mean we're in June, July, August. There's like 4 months left, so we know that Haney and Kambosos might happen like in the next 2 months, depending on
November
how
they're
that
saying.
goes. And then
November they're saying.
November, yeah, see that already. That there it is. Like we won't see that until next year. I mean, it's going to be Haney and Loma, but
Yeah, it's gonna be. Now Haney and Loma probably will happen early in the year next year, probably like May, June.
spring,
But
right?
this, yeah, springtime. But of course, we're gonna see Haney and Kambosos in November
Yeah,
this year.
yeah. And then okay, so this is where, like I said, I'm gonna put okay. My number six. This is tough because I feel like Charlo deserves to be on this list.
I think Charles deserves to be five just because he's
You
undisputed. I mean,
think?
that's where I had him. That's where I had him
Okay,
at. But yeah, like I
all
said,
right.
this is
You
your
know
list
what?
right here.
No. This is the freestyle. This is the off the top. So you're right. You're right, Julian. This is why have you on here because you know what? Sometimes my mind isn't always right, and I hear inputs, and I feel like your input matters because we're off the ropes. This is what we do. So yes, this is what I'm gonna do now. 4, Spence. 5, Charlo, and you had 6, TC, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, 6, TC. 7, I'm gonna go with Shakur. 8, Loma. 9, Baval. 10, Haney. And and I feel like those guys could go anywhere in between from 7 to 10, but Haney's new on the list. Yes, he got all the bouts, and I'm not gonna say because we want to see what Haney could do later on. Like Haney, he's on this list. Like he's new to the list. This is like he's young. This is kind of like his very first big fight, and we're not saying it's a fluke. But when you see some of these guys that have been on this list, they've been fighting a little bit longer. They've been fighting at the championship level a little bit longer. And same thing with Shakur. Like Shakur, yes, has been dominant.
yeah, he's getting into that championship level caliber
He's
fighter
exactly
already.
he's
I
getting
mean,
into those
so
championship fights. So I feel like that's my list. So Haney's at 10. Again, these things can change easily from one week to the next. And this is the thing I love about boxing right now. It's what you want to see, man. You want to see these guys fight the best, take the best fights and stuff. Um, but that's pretty much it for that right now. And then moving on to like our next topic, um, is the fights that are happening this weekend. We have the Munguia Cali, and then the
Cali fight,
Berlanga, and then the Cali, the Berlanga versus Angulo, and you have
Angulo.
Trevor Bryant versus Dubois. Julian, if you want, you can go ahead and give me your assessment on all three fights, starting
You
with the
know,
Munguia and Cali.
Munguia Cali, of course. Cali's, I think Cali's just a good challenge, a little challenge for Munguia, only because of he's been in there a while. Of course, I do see Munguia dominating this fight. But I do think Cali would make it. He could make it interesting the first 2 rounds for him. He keeps Munguia off his guard. Of course, we all know Munguia can't really fight off the back leg. But we do know the output. He puts some bunt and punches, and that's usually what beats fighters. So I have him beating Cali. Say by 6, 7th round KO, TKO, KO. That fight. As for Berlanga, Angulo, let's see what the new trainer can do for Berlanga.
Hey,
Let's
this
see.
fight right here, I'm sorry, this fight right here has got me interested.
Well, yeah, because Angulo is actually a baller. He's a brawler, bro. This son of a bitches.
His last
I
life,
mean,
who
yeah.
his last loss was to?
Who?
David Benavidez, and it went 10 rounds.
Wow. Right on. So then, all right. So you might have a dogfight then. You might have a dogfight. Yeah, I mean that's. But like I said, I mean we've seen how Berlanga's fought the last 2 fights. I mean he has gotten knocked down. He has gotten knocked down in the last fight. So it's just. Did Berlanga learn something from the last fight? Like does he at all? That those are the questions we're asking right now. But I mean, does Angulo make this interesting too? We'll find out. We're gonna find out. And as for Dubois, I have Duval just beating this guy badly. Let's say by in five. I haven't taken him out in five. Just too much talk from his end. Way too much talk. I just the the presser yesterday. Don King, hell, Don King, huh? Freaking goddamn guy, still got the same hair, bro. God dang. But no, but like I said, just I got Dubois winning by knockout.
Okay.
I just don't see Andrews doing crap, bro. Like, just he's been all talk, and of course he can. It's a heavyweight for light heavyweight fight, right? Light heavyweight or heavyweight?
Heavy. The
Heavy.
heaviest.
Okay. Yeah. So they freaking. Yeah, like I said, I mean, this Dubois just has too much power, and he is growing into a force in that division too. I just think it's his time too to try and show the world, hey, time to go to the next, and let's do it. And then today, I just think he ends it by knockout.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, okay. Start in order. Munguia, Cali. Munguia, young guy, 25 years old. He's been in the rankings for a little while. I don't think I've seen Kelly's name in the top 10, but
Yeah,
this is
me
a stay
neither.
busy fight. This is a stay busy fight. Um,
A fight
I
after
just
an
wanted to
injury.
quote something really quick that I read yesterday from Boxing Scene. And he mentioned why the Charlo fight didn't happen, and it wasn't money. He said that everything here. This is what I'll read. This is what he put yesterday. He put, I was a little sad over how it all turned out. It was a big fight for me, and it would have been a big fight for boxing. We both agreed to the fight. I believe the promoters all agreed to the fight as well. Or unfortunately, it came down to what the networks would air that fight. So, they both wanted this fight. It wasn't Mungia ducking. It wasn't Charlo
Mm,
not wanting this fight. Like everything went. It just
Pretty
came down to the net. Pretty
network
much
greed. Network greed. That's what it
which is
is.
unfortunate. When you have Golden Boy and PBC,
Mm,
it's still gonna follow. It's still gonna fall a little bit on the promoters, even though they both agreed to whatever terms they wanted. Like the networks still back the promoters, and the promoters still back the networks. So it was kind of good news for me because it just showed, what, yeah, people are down talking Mungia, saying, what, he's not taking these fights. Um, Even though yes, Andrade's mandatory for a couple years, but hey, not everybody fights their mandatories. He was young, yes, but if you're gonna enter these rankings, like of course you should fight the guy that you're supposed to be fighting, and that goes for everybody, not just Mungia. It goes for everybody. Just like Andre should have fought Janabek,
a
but
lot
he
of fights.
feels, but he felt like Janabek wouldn't do anything for him moving forward to 168. Just
No,
like
no, no. Janabek
that's
made a
another thing.
statement in his last fight.
Yeah, for sure. So, but
Oh,
Mugia Kelly, this is a stay busy fight. I saw a little bit of footage on Kelly, and I think this is kind of for Mungia. He's improving. This is one of those fights where you see him flash some new stuff, and we saw him already flashing some new stuff in his last couple fights. Jab, patience, more body work, better defense. So it's going to be one of those kind of fights. It's pretty much a glorified sparring match with no headgear and the right size gloves. So that's pretty much
yeah.
what it'll be. Mungia, I think this probably won't go past 5. And it's funny because I saw these styles. The guy's name is Jim Kelly, and he put on his thumbnail the football player from the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
It was funny. Everybody was calling the guy the football player, the
The one, the
quarterback,
one that, the
whatever.
one, the one that couldn't finish.
The one that can never get a Super Bowl, 0-4, or whatever he is.
Four
But
straight Super Bowls couldn't win. One of the best quarterbacks of all time.
it sucks. Sucks.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, it sucks. But it's a good stay busy fight. It's free. It's the zone. Watch it. I mean, support. I love it. I'm writing pretty high on Gio. I'm excited to see what the rest happens. I feel like that fight will happen eventually, or he will get one of the big names. Who knows? Maybe a Triple G. Maybe I remember even Daniel Jacobs' name was even thrown out there against Munguia, so it wouldn't be bad to see him with any of these guys out there.
Yeah.
Berlanga, Angulo has 2 losses. I know for sure one of them was David Benavidez, and I can't remember who the other guy was. He comes in the brawl, so in a way, it's kind of tailor made for Berlanga. But again, Berlanga hasn't really done anything too impressive. Like he kind of looks like one dimensional. Like and I seen some of his fights when he was younger, dude, and he actually looked like he flashed some skill. Like there was a good jab, there was movement. I think he became the monster. I think it was like 15 or 16 first round knockouts. That does something to your mental. Like you see, like he's figures he can just walk through any guy, knock everybody out, and then it kind of changes your style. You kind of forget your basics, and that's what it looked like. He forgot his basics. But let's see what happens with the new trainer. So maybe this new trainer brings something new into this, different fold. Work better in his footwork because he's flat-footed. He leaves his head on the line. So we'll see what happens. Angulo is going to be there to hit and to not get hit. He's going to be hitting you and to get hit. So that fight will probably last about as long as it's going to last. Berlanga should win. It's tailor-made for him. Trevor Bryan and Dubois, kind of the same thing. It's a heavyweight fight. Both these guys are coming to knock each other out. Out of the two, Trevor Bryan has faced the better competition. He fought Joe Joyce. He lost. So, there's that there. Like he's showing that he's going after a name. Trevor Bryan is he's a younger guy. He's undefeated. He's got the knockout record to show that he can knock some dudes out. I'm excited for Dubois too. Like Dubois is a really good heavyweight, and he can make a splash. But it could be a mental thing. And I know he completely whitewashed the last guy he fought on the undercard of Jake Paul. But I think for this one, it's a heavyweight fight. I think Dubois has the experience. He's been there. So I think I'm gonna go with you on this one too, Julian. I feel like Dubois will most likely win this just because he's been there and done that, and he's got the more experience of these guys. But and then now some of the stuff that we got coming on here. Current news, some up and coming fights, some news that's been coming out. First thing, Julian, that I just saw yesterday was Jake Paul and Amanda Serrano are looking to fight August 6th at the Madison Square Garden Showtime pay-per-view. No opponents named yet.
I wouldn't do pay-per-view though, man. It's just, Amanda Serrano, yes. Jake Paul, no. Because we all know Jake Paul is gonna fight another bum, non-fighter, so it's
another UFC guy.
That
wasn't UFC a striker.
Guy. Yeah, or a freaking movie star. Who knows, So like I said, I'm looking forward to Serrano.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I said, I don't think this one gets as much rep as he thinks it's gonna get. And I just think he should have put Serrano probably on this card alone, or he should have just did his own card for himself.
Yeah, when you got that Mayweather money, like
you do whatever you want.
You do whatever you want. Yeah. So, hey, you know what? Whatever, dude. He's like, I don't know. He's good and he's not that bad for boxing.
No, exactly. No, that's what I say too. He's a badass promoter.
Mm-hmm.
I give him that. He should stick to that.
That's his thing. That's his thing.
He should really stick to that. He can sell his fighters.
Yeah, same with you, man. Whatever. I don't think we're gonna see Jake Paul in there, even with Tommy Fury, which I think would be the fight. If they're putting it pay-per-view Showtime, that should be the fight that should be made, right? I don't want to see Anderson Silva. I know Anderson Silva's beating these guys, but he's old. He was getting punched. He is knocking dudes out, whatever. But the youth and the strength would just be too much. I think the best fight obviously is the Fury fight. But Serrano, I don't know. They couldn't get the rematch done. I didn't read too much into it, but I did see a headline that Eddie Hearn could not get the rematch signed. Too bad. Oh well. Next thing, this came out a couple days ago as well, is that Oscar De La Hoya is looking to sell Golden Boy.
I think he already has
who's interested?
He has 2 offers on the table, though.
You think it's worth $1 billion? You think he will get that $1 billion, or you think he's just throwing those big names out there?
No, he's gonna get $1 billion, bro. It is $1 billion company. You can't tell me that this freaking company's not worth $1 billion. All the shit that they've done, the shit that he's done to build this company, the people that work for this company, it's over $1 billion company, easy. So, it's we'll see a couple guys throw some offers out there. If it gets to $1 billion, we'll see. It's yet to see, but I do think I think it'll hit a billion. You know, I really
But
do think it's too big. I mean, we've seen Tesla throw out his thing out there. I mean, Tesla fucking
that was a
you know,
joke tweet.
that shit was funny
Elon
though.
Musk.
That was funny, dude. He can, we've seen like a lot of things. He said he has two offers on the table though, so we'll find out how true that is.
Do you think it's another big promoter? Do you think it's some rich billionaire that sees the opportunity with some of the fighters that he has in Golden Boy? I mean, there's
Uh, if I mean, I'm hoping it's a boxing minded
me too.
person, because if not, then you're just going in there to make the money, and that's it.
Yeah, I
So
would love to see. And hey, look at just real quick. I just thought about this too. Didn't they just like extend their contract with Matchroom for the
yeah,
zone? Yeah. So hey,
Eddie
who
Hearn
knows?
may be buying it.
Who knows? Maybe he adds more people to his stable and he keeps it. You know, or someone he knows might. He might lend him some money. Say, hey, go buy a Golden Boy and we'll build this. And then Golden Boy fights on top on there anyway. So maybe that'd be good for business later on down the line if Eddie Hearn is the guy that picks up the
Yep,
tab
for real.
or he picks
Yep.
up Golden Boy. Because I mean he works with pretty much everybody except Leonard Allerby for some reason. Allerby's got this he's got a hard on for him.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah. Hey,
He's,
you know how it is when you
he's
talk
even
so much
singing.
shit about somebody.
He's even singing about Allerby now.
Yeah. And then also in 2023, I'm looking forward to this is the Andre Ward documentary.
Yeah, I figured I saw that. It's gonna be pretty good, man. I can't wait. It'll be a nice one.
That's gonna be awesome, man. I mean, if you know already because his backstory, what he's come from, it's gonna be a great documentary. I even saw him saying that he was gonna try to put boxing out there, some of like their personal, agendas, what they do behind closed doors. So hopefully he doesn't put too much out there, and if he does, protect Andre Ward at all costs.
Yep. No
So
shit.
2023 Andre Ward documentary. I'm looking forward to it. I was a big Andre Ward fan when I used to play Fight Night. Andre Ward wasn't on there, but guess who made Andre Ward as a fighter? I did. I was one of the guys that used to make him on there. Um,
Alright. Okay.
I did, and Tim Bradley. I used to make Tim Bradley, um,
the
Andre
desert.
Ward, and
The
Miguel
Desert
Cotto.
Storm.
Yeah, I used to make those guys on there. But and then we also see that Shakur versus Navarrete is targeted for August, September.
That should be a good one, man. I think it's more of a challenge than Oscar Valdez.
Hmm.
On paper, at least. Um, no, it'd have to probably make this more competitive fight. But I do, man. I don't know. I guess that'll be for another show, to talk about because I could talk so much stuff about what Navarrete can do and what Shakur can do to him. So, but it's gonna be a good fight. I'm excited for it. I mean, I think the boxing world should be. I mean, if you don't know who Navarrete is, then you better do some. You better do some YouTube. You better look up YouTube.
Oh shit! Here you go, Chicano. I hope you all cover Hearn versus. Hey, you know what? We are gonna do some more homework on that because it just does not seem like these guys going back and forth never end. From what I could tell you,
I'd pay for that pay per view if they fought.
I'd pay for that pay per view. You know what it is?
I bet.
Ellerby is he's just a
He's
sore
a soft
bitch.
son. He's just a soft son. You didn't see what happened when Raleigh came back on the stage. Homie, your head behind. He ran. He ran behind freaking Tank and everybody because he was all scared.
Yeah, man.
I was all
Absolutely.
like, dude, like calm down, bro. Like you ain't shit. You're all mouth.
Yeah, that's all he's
Like,
doing. Like, again, it's gonna this all falls down onto to TMT, like what their future holds. He
yep.
feels the controversial shit that he does with Hearn will get people excited. It gets people excited, but not excited to see what TMT is gonna do. I guess it's excited to see if Hearn is gonna slap the shit out of this guy. I mean, and I believe he would slap the fucking glasses off of fucking Allerby. So this
Fucking
is
beat the
too
brakes
funny.
off that. Beat the brakes off that guy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So Chicano, for you, we will cover that not today, but let us do a little bit of homework. Let us do a little bit more homework and let some of that die down because it seems like every day there's something fucking new with these guys.
Yeah, it's gonna
Um,
be a good one. You're gonna get Chicano on that one. That'll be hilarious.
you're more welcome to come on. Again, Shakur Navarrete for me, I'm excited about this, and I told you the same. You said the same thing I told you the other day. Is Valdez? I mean, I feel like Navarrete would take more chances. He likes to get hit. He's not afraid to get hit, so he will probably make this an exciting fight. Um, and I've even heard some trainers on the Sean Porter podcast mention that Shakur, even in the, I mean, nobody likes to get hit, but when he does get hit, and we said this before, that was our breakdown with Valdez. If Valdez could get in, hit him with some clean shots, like we would most likely see a different Shakur. And it's crazy because this guy actually said this 2 weeks after the fight had happened. Um, and who knows? Again, nobody likes to get hit. He's saying that Shakur don't like to get hit, and Navarrete loves to get hit. So he's gonna take some chances, I think,
Yep.
when this fight gets made. But
And he
again,
has a
that's
jaw.
just
He has a golden jaw too, bro. So that's some pitcher go in there and take some shots. You
and
know,
he's
so
super awkward. He's super awkward, and he he'll hit you in some weird angles. And he's a big dude too for that division.
yep. You know, so I mean, I think that'll be his Shakur's biggest test. You know, but we all know Shakur wants to he's trying to go after the belts too, though. So
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
And not in Navarrete, he's in there too. So it's not like Navarrete isn't somebody that's ranked high. Like he's ranked pretty highly. Like they were gonna make the Navarrete and Valdez fight, but Bob Arum saw the opportunity, decided to make the Shakur Valdez. But once that fight does get made, yes, we'll have more breakdown on it. But as of now, like I'm excited to see this fight happening. I mean, there is more fights for both these guys to be doing or fight against each other or fight, but they're fighting each other. And
yeah.
then like last thing, real quick, I mean, it's not very important, but it pertains to boxing. Greg Hardy, former UFC fighter, is looking to join boxing in October to make his pro debut. How do you think this happens? How do you think happen? You think it's a good step? I mean, he is a striker.
Yeah, he's a striker, but he doesn't have the game to be a boxer. I mean, he just got knocked out the last two fights in the UFC, so that kind of tells you where he's at jaw wise. You're gonna come into a freaking league. You're gonna come into a place, where guys have already been doing this for 10, 12 years, and you're gonna come in and try to fight these dudes. They're gonna put you on your butt, man.
Yeah, and brain capacity too. Like they said, when you knock out, you kind of lose that capacity too for your brain to absorb
Yep,
those shots. So, and
exactly.
maybe I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be interesting at heavyweight because I'm sure that's what he's going to be coming in at. It's anything can go, but I'm
Yeah,
sure they're not
I
going to
don't
put him
like
in
it.
there. Yeah, I'm
I
sure
don't
they're
like
not going
it.
to put him in there with with somebody dangerous. I think I see this playing out kind of like how Kimbo Slice wasn't too successful in the MMA, but he did cross over to boxing. But actually, he was a boxer first, and he won some fights against guys he's supposed to. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, it's not very important news, but it still pertains to boxing. He's making another step. He's trying to pursue this fighting career, and my hats off to him. But let's see what happens with him, man. But
Yep.
that pretty much concludes the show for today. Julian, any last words, man? Anything
Not
you want to
much, man.
conclude
Just
with?
not much, man. Just now we're gonna be possibly hosting a raffle here in the coming probably in the coming month. You know, win yourself a television, possibly a pair of Beats headphones, a couple Beats. We're gonna have a. We'll be coming out with more information possibly on the next show. About it. But the Combat for Hope Foundation is actually gonna do their first raffle. You know, for the because we're actually getting ready to actually want to throw a big event here pretty soon. So that's just a thing, man. Just we'll come out with you guys. A raffle coming up here pretty soon for Combat for Hope. Just continue supporting local gyms. And like I said, if you feel anybody is in trouble, can't get into any of these gyms, just don't be afraid to holler at us, because that's where we come in. So we'll have more information on that here on our next show too. So yeah, man, like I said, man, it's always fun, man. It's always fun talking boxing. It's always fun, having anybody listening on our show today. Everybody that tuned in, appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and
Yeah, man.
we have, even though sometimes it shows, one or two people watching, even four up to even five people watching, like just the coming days after this show comes out, like our viewers go up like at least 20 plus. So it does get seen. So thankfully people are watching our show. It's growing a little bit. It's growing,
Yeah, it's
even
growing.
though
It's
I
going.
wish, even though I wish it would grow a little bit faster. But hey, you know what? Baby steps. I'm happy with the way the show's going. Yeah, the raffle coming soon. You know, our our event in October is always, you know, go out there to support local. That's what we do. We support local as the best as we could. You know, we talk this boxing, this MMA stuff as much as we could. Um, hey man, I'm excited for tonight's fights to see what happens.
Yeah,
Next
it's
week's
gonna be
fights are
fun.
going to be just as good. They're you know, a little bit more on the line with the next weekend's fights.
Exactly.
So, you know, Julian, thank you, man. You know, hey, this is Off the Ropes as always. You know,
Yeah.
everybody have yourself a good weekend, and we'll be seeing you guys soon.
All right, man. Logging out. Appreciate y'all.